call this meeting to order. Could someone pull that door to for me? Thank you, Ms. Tucker. All right, call this meeting to order. Let's start with the invocation of pledge. Mr. Garrison, since you're so talking today, would you please?
Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for this board, Lord. Be with us as we make decisions in the best interest of the school. Your will, Lord. Just watch over and protect us all, Lord. Also help Coach Bess in his recovery. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let's move on to consideration and approval of the agenda. Anyone have anything to say about the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Dr. Hager, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Let's move on to consideration and approval of the minutes of the September board meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Garrison. Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Richardson, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to consideration of the college financial report. Ms. Eubank, it's your show.
Thank you. So if you turn in your notebooks to your financial report section, I don't have a page number. We look at the year-to-date comparison to the previous year as of August the 31st. You see that our tuition and fees are actually outperforming last fiscal year, so that's good news. This will have the majority of our fall registration in it. That's about all but we'll still have a little bit of drops after that, but that'll be the majority of it. The following page then on expenses, you see those as you'd expect. Revenue goes up, so do expenses, so we do have a bit more of expenses as compared to the previous fiscal year. But if you look at the following page, revenues minus expenses, you can see that our change in net position is actually ahead of where we were last fiscal year at the same time. So that's good news. The next couple of pages then have just the details of those graphs. And then if we look on the next section, budget to actual revenues, as of September the 30th, it's 25% into our fiscal year. If you look at the top half, revenues, again you see those tuition and fees. That's 56%, I believe, of our annual budget, and so this of course does reflect our fall enrollment. So that's a very good spot to be. Very strong start to our fiscal year. On the bottom half, then looking at expenses and using that 25% as kind of our guide. Just a couple of outliers there with institutional support. We talk about that each year. There's some large IT contracts that renew at the beginning of the fiscal year, so it's always a little bit heavier loaded to the beginning of the year. And then scholarships. This will include our fall aid distribution. So scholarships tend to fall a little bit more in large chunks. So that's an expected pattern for that. The next page then, looking at our capital budget, you see that under campus improvements, the vast majority of that is our HVAC project that is continuing. That is a project across fiscal years. So, and then the next line in Westover, we're working on the roof. I'm sure you've seen the work outside on that. Other than that, then we've done just a little bit to the Best Activity Center. That is largely due to the flood that we had last year and water damage. So this has just been things we've needed to repair thus far. The major portion of that project is forthcoming and will be largely underwritten by insurance proceeds from that. So those are stipend amounts. And then at the bottom of that page, looking at fleet vehicles, you can see that's the one item that's actually over budget. But here in just a few pages, you'll see a budget amendment that is proposed to rectify that. And that's just because we bought a bus. Remember last year we had one that Following that, then looking at our cash and banks, flipping over to the pie graph. Again, very much as expected for this time of the fiscal year. This is a pretty strong point of the fiscal year where we've got fall enrollment in. We will, we're probably midpoint in processing fall aid, so we've got a chunk of that, but probably still more to come. Our biggest portion of that happens in September, so it will have that part. So a good spot to be in this point of the fiscal year. The next page shows our certificates of deposit. You'll notice that list is shrinking. And the reason for that, if you look on the next page, what we've been doing per the board's instruction is we've been taking all of our endowment CDs and we've been liquidating those for the ultimate goal in investing those in Community Foundation of the Ozarks, where we can get a better return on those investments. So this is it's sort of done in phases, and we're sort of mid-process of doing that. So we're collecting them all in our checking account, which is also interest bearing. So we're tracking that separately, and then those funds will ultimately be turned over to Community Foundation of Ozarks to be invested there in a endowment fund. Nothing to report on the bids. We have open bids this month. And then the next page has some more proposed budget amendments. As I mentioned, on the bottom half, you see the bus there for that $70,000 to address that one issue. Aside from that, on the capital side, we do have the roof works on both Westover and ARC. Those were both planned projects, but we actually planned for them last fiscal year, and so they crossed over. So those are just timing issues to address those. And then some LED screens that we're in the process of purchasing. On the top half, just very routine operational changes that happen as we fill vacant positions, and just the normal operations changes that happen through the year. And that concludes my report. Do you have any questions?
Are we affiliated with Music Insurance?
We are.
I make a motion we accept the financial report as presented and approve the proposed budget amendments.
Motion by Mr. Featherston to approve the financial report, including the proposed budget amendments. Is there a second?
I would second that.
Second by Dr. Hager. This is again a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 3, let's move to the President's report.
Certainly, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to start off talking about the 3-part series that was coordinated and put on by Mr. Corey Reynolds. He is our program coordinator for the Behavioral Health Support Program, and this is a ongoing community engagement series that he has put on to bring and highlight various mental health aspects that benefit his program as far as community exposure and provide a service to members of our community. So this one was how to spot a narcissist. It was very well attended, and I want to state for the record that Mr. Reynolds has done an excellent job at coming up with these different types of events and getting out in the community and showing how we can support our community and the importance of some of our educational programs. And then I'm going to ask Ms. Heather King to come forward, or Ms. C.J. Jameson, and talk about preview days.
Hello everybody. Ms. King couldn't be here. She's currently at MAC right now for a college fair trying to book students. So preview day happened September 21st and 22nd. We did it a little differently this year. We condensed it back down to 2 days per the request of several of the counselors and feedback we received. We had 23 schools in attendance and 389 students present on campus throughout those 2 days. Numbers were a little less than what we anticipated due to various issues of schools closing. Neelyville had a flood, Poplar Bluff had homecoming, so different things kind of played into less students than what we had originally anticipated, but we had a good turnout for the first time doing this in the first couple of years. We have decided that we will be staying with the 2-day format because we received a lot of positive feedback from the counselors, the students themselves. They all completed surveys, so it's been very positive as a whole. They really have raved about the amount of campus participation. They really enjoyed getting the full attention of the instructors those days, just getting to see what we're all about. We will be probably pushing the dates back a week next year to accommodate their schedules, so that way we're not overlapping with homecoming football games or parent-teacher conferences, things like that, because it does fall right towards the end of that first quarter. So that is everything to do with preview day. All in all, it was great. We had a great time. Started out in Libla, and it was a blast.
So one of the big differences, based on feedback from students and counselors, they told us that they wanted a lot more interaction with faculty. They wanted to meet and talk to the people that were going to be their teachers when they came here. So we made a really radical shift in what we were doing and partially shut down campus for 2 full days, so that every faculty member had the opportunity to actually interact with students. And the faculty did a fantastic job of coming up with some very highly interactive ways to engage the students and build excitement. And then couple that with the work that Student Services did, it was 2 phenomenal days that have gone off. They went off better than any preview days we've done before. So I think we've really hit upon a new way to do this that will work very, very well.
I got real positive feedback from where I live too. Counselor enjoyed it. Said the off country kids, off campus kids haven't been here a lot, could visualize themselves in a classroom who their teacher was. It made a huge difference to them being able to experience that. So CJ, share that with Heather, please.
I sure will.
Thank you.
Excellent. And now I am proud to ask Professor Mark Sanders to come forward and talk about his work as a published author and a book reading signing that we conducted on campus.
Thank you, Dr. Payne, and I want to express my thanks to the college for their continued support. Each time that I've been able to publish a new book, you got a little handout, just a little promotional handout. These are all my book cover blurbs on here. I've published 3 books in print since 2017. The first, which I actually completed years before that, was Dylan's Treasure. It is a romantic adventure set around an annual Knights tournament. The second, The Spring of Landfall, is a war novel. The Vikings invade in the dead of winter, and you have to read through the book to figure out why. The conclusion of this trilogy is called Shannon's Promise, and I have to give credit to the college of my career here because I drew upon many of the influences from the classes that I've taught here: English literature, classical mythology, world religions, philosophy, and ethics. And I put just about everything but the kitchen sink into the third novel, which I can best describe to you as it's an epic fantasy that constitutes a treasure hunt, a manhunt, and a dragon hunt. So if you want to know more than that, I would encourage you to purchase a copy from Amazon.com, or you can check out any of the books here from our library. All 3 copies are in residence on the shelves. And if any of you have any specific questions, I'd be happy to answer that.
What's the motivation? What got you started in writing?
I've been interested in writing fiction since I was in grade school. It was always a dream of mine. I went to the University of Missouri and majored in journalism with the intent of being a writer. Other interests took me in other directions, but the idea of being a novelist was always present. And thanks to the internet and modern technology, it supports independent authors, and we remain in control of our own work every step of the way. And so it's, the sales and marketing is our own responsibility. That's one disadvantage, but also being able to retain ownership and control of your work is a big deal. And I'm part of a community of local independent authors, and we network with each other and help promote each other's work.
What's next?
Well, right now I'm working on my Blogtober project. This is the 5th year for Blogtober. It's an online experiment in which we have 31 words of the day, and your challenge is to write something related to that word in somehow. And the trick is you are limited to 250 words. And so what I've done every year and what I'm in the midst of is a 31 chapter novel. So I just put out chapter 18 this morning.
Cool.
And the word of today is?
Collision. I also have a new novel in the works that's set in my fictional world, but it's about 200 years into the future from the time conclusion of this novel. No idea when that's going to be done, because it really is a part-time activity, something that I do with the free time that I have after I'm done with classes and all the rest of that stuff.
Very good.
Thank you very much, Professor Sanders, and congratulations on finishing the trilogy.
Thank you.
And I'll call Ms. C.J. Jameson back up to talk about Raider Rally.
So last year we reevaluated everything we had been doing. Raider Rally was formerly known as Club Rush, and it was what we would do. It was a one-day event. We would do it on Wednesday. Typically would fall on a board meeting day, so you guys would get to see all that out there. And it was good, but we had a lot of feedback from our Tuesday, Thursday students that don't attend campus on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that they wanted to participate in that as well. We also are not a very organization-heavy campus, so it was kind of a sparse event as far as setup. So this year we kind of revamped it. We changed it to Raider Rally, where we also allowed community partners to set up tents. So FCC set up to talk about the counseling services they offer on campus. The Humane Society was here with puppies for people to pet. Just different things that were able to bring students joy, that they were able to look into, kind of get information about if that was something that they thought they wanted to do. We had approximately 300 students attending, but 176 are who signed up for more information from different organizations, different partners, things like that. We had 17 planned to attend, but 15 were there. They all provided an activity or a snack or candy, which enticed the students to come to their tables, obviously. We did have 2 food trucks planned. Unfortunately, we only had one show up, but she did sell out of food both days. And I heard a lot of really positive feedback about everything that she offered, so that was really great. We had an inflatable obstacle course that has a bounce house in the middle, as you can tell, and that was really fun to watch. We had about 40 students compete and participate to race each other in that. And then the ACAD classes stepped up. They provided an assignment to get their students out there, talking to different tables. They got bonus points if they did the obstacle course, different things like that. Tuesday was definitely our better day, so that was kind of a shock for us that Tuesday was our more fulfilling day, but we had a good time. We had voter registration and all the different things you could think of. We tried to bring it to them. Next year we're going to try to do a little bit more. We're evaluating the 2-day format this year. We're going to see if that still works for us or if we should condense it back down to 1 day to offer more for what we can. But yeah, that's where we're going.
How well did voter registration go?
I think we had 6.
Yeah, there was a few that signed up.
We had lots stop and talk to us. Most actually had registered to vote when they got their driver's license. But we did have 6 or 7 actually complete the voter registration form, which was, that's good. That was kind of part of our Constitution Day, month. We were tying all that in together as well. We were able to give out lots of information about our food pantry, and numbers have increased since Raider Rally of students that have been stopping in at the food pantry, so that's really good. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. And then on September 27th, we were very proud to partner with the Department of Veteran Affairs to host a mental health suicide prevention summit. It was a well-rounded day with a lot of activities and quite a bit of participation. And now I'm going to ask our Director of Financial Aid, Ms. Regina Morris, if she'll come forward and talk about our Financial Aid High School Workshop.
Thank you. So we actually partnered with MSLF with it, which is the Missouri Scholarship Loan Foundation, and MASFAP, which is our Missouri Association for Student Financial Aid Professionals. And this is our second year that we've actually done it. We are trying to get early awareness to our counselors so they can service the financial aid students that's planning on coming here, next year. The hot topic this year, of course, was the 24-25 FAFSA with all the simplification changes with the Department of Ed. We actually had about 26 counselors in attendance. We actually received lots of compliments, good reviews, but I have not seen the surveys yet because there are about 20 of these hosted throughout the state of Missouri, and they are waiting till all of the conferences are done before they release the survey results. So I have asked for those to be released once those are, but we wanted one of the first dates because we wanted to get all the counselors to Three Rivers versus them going to Cape to go to their conference. Some of the topics, of course, that we discussed was, the FAFSA release date. As you all are probably aware, normally the FAFSA is released on October the 1st. This year, with all the simplification changes, excuse me, the Department of Ed has just stated that there will be a release date sometime in December. We have not been given an actual date as of yet. According to the regulations, they do have to have it out by December 31st. So a lot of the concern, of course, is for the counselors because usually in October we are starting hot and heavy with our financial aid workshops for the high schools at this point because, the seniors are getting ready for the 24 fall. With the release date of December, it's going to put us out there in January, February, and we're about 3 months behind with processing. But that's with every school in the state, or every school actually in the nation, not just us. Little other things that was discussed was, the replacement of the EFC, which is the estimated family contribution, is now actually going to a student aid index, which is an SAI. This is probably the first overhaul of financial aid since the 80s. They're actually supposed to be reducing the FAFSA down from about 108 questions, I believe, to around 46. So they're just trying to get prepared and try to make it a simplified process for the students when they apply. Any questions?
It's long overdue.
It is long overdue.
I have 2 kids in college.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. And now if our athletic director, Ms. Brian Best, will come forward and talk about Raider Madness.
Yeah, so on October 1st, at around 3 o'clock, we had Raider Madness, and we had really good attendance and a lot of excitement. The 3-point shooting champion for the Lady Raiders was Amaya Johnson, who they also call the Microwave. And then the men's champion was Deuce Alexander, one of my guys from Little Rock. And then the dunk contest winner was Bryce Wallace. And we also had the cheer team did an exciting routine. I think we had 18 strong, and we've got a really good cheer team, and Kayla's really excited about them. And I know all the sports are kicking off and getting busy. We had the big rodeo the first weekend in October. We had good weather. Everything's going well. Raider Madness is definitely upon us for the athletic department.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
And if I can have Ms. Gail Tinsley, our Director of the University Center, come forward to talk about our college transfer fair.
Yes, that was October 4th, and we had it in the Pastor lobby. It seems to be the most well-trafficked area, so students are coming in and out of there, or they see that something's going on, so we get them in there. We had about a dozen colleges. This is the first time I had a conflict, but Mineral Area had a college fair the same day, so I was missing a couple colleges, but they both promised that they'd be here for our spring transfer fair. But we did have 50 students go through and talk, sign in and talk to the different colleges. Our AHEC classes helped with that because those are our first semester students, and part of their assignment was to talk to at least 3 colleges, and they had some questions that they were specific it gives them a good way to know that that's something they can do and what they should be doing, so that when they're really getting closer to transfer time, then they don't feel uncomfortable doing it. So, it was a good day, and I've got several students who are coming in now because they visited with the college and they wanna know, what do I do to transfer there? You know, what, do we have agreements? They've already asked those kinds of questions, and so I think it's a good event. We do it now in fall and spring. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Newman.
you.
Then on October 5th and 7th, the Three Rivers College Championship College Rodeo was held in Sikeston. Very successful event. We were able to place in a few categories, build a few points both individually and as teams. We continue to have great support from the Sikeston community and our sponsors. So very positive event. The rodeo team is well on its way this year to going back to nationals. So looking forward to seeing how the rest of that season comes out. And then finally, I'm going to ask Ms. Andrea Pierce, Director of our Practical Nursing Program, to talk about the nursing job fair.
Alright, October 6th, we had our job fair here in Poplar Bluff. Our Sikeston location will be having theirs October 30th. This was the first job fair I think we've had in Poplar Bluff since before COVID. So we had a decent turnout. We'd like to have more. We had 12 participants, local employers. The VA, Poplar Bluff Regional was here, a few nursing homes from the area, Stoddard County Health Department, some home health agencies were here. And overall, all the feedback we've gotten has been very positive from the employers, the students. I had several students that left that day with job offers. Our LPN students, we're working towards our leadership class right now, and they have to do a resume. So they all had their resumes done and ready to go and present as they met with the employers. So it was good.
What's our placement rate of nursing graduates?
For jobs, upon graduation, we are probably, I've been working on these numbers this morning, we're probably 85 to 90% at graduation, and within 6 months, 100%. So most of them have jobs before they graduate.
So this really serves the purpose of helping them pick where they wish to be employed.
Exactly, yeah. The ball's in their court, that's what I tell them. Lots of people want them. But they did, the employers, and they have reached out to me via email to say that the resumes, they appreciated having those resumes right there so they could immediately look at that with them.
Wonderful.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And moving on to some upcoming events. Our next art exhibit will be October 9th through November 3rd with Ruth Gardner. She's a musician and potter who creates whimsical musical themed instruments and pottery from clay. Then we are going to host a flu vaccine clinic October 19th and 20th, where any and all employees who wish to receive the flu vaccine can get one 100% covered by the insurance. Then October 24th will be the fall showcase for our music department. Trunk or Treat, hosted by the Three Rivers College Student Leadership Academy, will be October 28th, 5 to 7 in the Kennedy Center parking lot. This has become an annual project for our Student Leadership Academy. They do a great job. We generally have well over 1,000 people come through to participate in Trunk or Treat that one day. Then we will hold the Sikeston Job Fair, as Ms. Pierce stated, on October 30th, of course, at our Sikeston location. Then October 30th is the next Patrons Show, which is Haunted Illusions, just in time for Halloween, 7 p.m. at the Tennessee Arts Center. Tickets are $15. Get them while they're available because this show is selling out quickly. Then our Counselors Conference will be November 3rd, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the Tenon Lobby. This is our annual event where we bring all our counselors in to talk about what's important to them our partnerships with them and how we can move forward together to serve our area students. Red Cross Blood Drive, November 14th, 10 to 3 in the Best Conference Room in the Best Activity Center. And then from November 13th to December 15th, our next art exhibit in the Tennant Fine Arts Center Gallery will be Roseanne Stannard. A beautiful local artist, does a great job, and we'll be holding the reception with the artist at 6:30 on December 4th. And that, sir, is the President's report, and we do have a couple of executive sessions.
Thank you, three. Let's move on to executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Dr. Richardson, second by Dr. Hager, and this is a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Patterson.
Yes.
Trustee Richardson.
Yes.
Trustee Hager.
Yes.
Trustee Garrison.
Yes.
Trustee Shaw.
Sure, why not? We are in executive session.
So,
All right, we are back. Let's continue with, I'm close my board book up early. Let's move on to items for consideration, discussion, and vote. SP 2180 military service, PP 4510 employee benefits, and PP 4520 payroll deductions.
All right, so these policies have all been updated to become current with current regulations, either federal, state, or local, and the associated regulations are in the back as information items.
All right, is there a motion to approve these three policies?
I make a motion to approve the policies as presented.
Mr. Garrison makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Dr. Richardson. All in favor, this will be a roll call vote.
Trustee Featherston.
yes.
Trustee Richardson. Yes. Trustee Hager.
Yes.
Trustee Garrison.
Yes.
Trustee Shaw.
Yes, ma'am. Let's move to consideration and approval of all personnel action and associated documentation.
Make a motion to approve all personnel actions and the associated documents.
Mr. Featherston makes a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Dr. Hager, this is another roll call vote.
Trustee Featherston.
Yes.
Trustee Richardson. Yes. Trustee Hager.
Yes.
Trustee Garrison.
Yes.
Trustee Shaw.
I don't see why not. Moving on, looks like the only thing left will be to discuss, we have a meeting next November 16th. And is there a motion for?
Can't be here that day. I didn't know if I told you or not, but I won't be able to be there. Now, I mean, if it becomes a quorum issue, I can drive out to where I have cell service and get on the phone, but if it's not a quorum issue, I won't be here.
Okay. Still waiting for that motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Featherston. Is there a second?
Yes, I will, second.
Thank you, Mr. Garrison. This is a voice vote. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
I think I told you that last.
You did.